When our daughter Katie died in a car crash, the house seemed to be filled with people round about the time of the funeral. Suddenly it all became too much for me, and I needed to get right away into a room on my own where I could work out what on earth had happened. I needed space away from people.
Whereas I wanted people, but not just any old people, but special friends, and ones who were willing to just cry with me, sit with me, let me talk about Katie for hours. And like the couple who came and said, "We've never walked this way before, but we'll walk it with you."
When Kate died, I suppose the shock was too great. I didn't weep or sob or shed a tear really. And the funny thing is that I'm not a totally unemotional person. I can fill up if I'm watching a weepy movie or reading a certain book, but I've never cried for Katie.
Whereas I cried, and I can still cry for Katie all these many years after. This for me was a real tearing apart from Chris for a time, because I felt, because he didn't show any emotion, that he didn't love her. And the more I thought about it, the more screwed up I got about it, because I thought, well, if he loved her, then he would surely have wanted to cry like I did. At that point, I had no idea how differently men grieve from women.
When I was at home with quite a bit of time on my hands, I had to find some way of filling the time. And one thing I did was I answered every single condolence letter personally, and there were about 70 of them, so that took me quite some time. And the other thing I did was I trawled through all the photos we'd got of Katie. It was in the days before digital cameras. I sent them all off to get printed, and then got about 25 to 30 sets of them and sent them all round to her closest friends.
Whereas when I was at home, I was never sitting down, very rarely sitting down. I was busying about all over the place, and actually there's a song about it, busy doing nothing, working the whole day through, trying to find lots of things not to do. And that's what I was doing. I was dashing about with no purpose.
This is rather a personal one. I think, being a fairly typical bloke, I guess that if something traumatic happens in your life, if you're in a relationship, then a chap needs the comfort of making love to the partner. And with the shock of Katie dying, I needed a lot of comfort.
I couldn't bear him anywhere near me. That was how Katie was conceived. So how could I bear to do it again when I can't have another child? Not that there's another child would replace Katie, but I couldn't do it. And anyway, I just didn't want him to touch me, bear you anywhere near.
We are better now.
Yes, we are.